Welcome to the Daily Plunge. We're going through the book of Acts. We're in chapter 15, verses 12 through 21. Now, Paul and Barnabas and a couple other disciples from the church in Antioch have gone down to Jerusalem to talk about what God is doing. And Paul and Barnabas are telling all the signs and wonders that God is doing amongst, of all people, the Gentiles. People who aren't circumcised, people who are far from God, people who are not supposed to be getting God's grace. And yet God is working amongst them. And that is an ooh and ah, oh my gosh, kind of experience. And so the circumstance of the people are seeing the circumstances of what God is doing. And then when they finish telling this, James, who is the brother of Jesus, stands up and look. We've already heard Peter tell the same story when he described how God first intervened to choose people who are far from him, the Gentiles, for his own name, for his glory, for his kingdom. And we should know this is true because it conforms with the word of God. And he quotes the prophet, after this I will return and rebuild David's fallen tent, his fallen kingdom. And I'm going to do that by including the rest of humanity, but I'm going to include even the Gentiles. And they're going to bear my name. They're going to become my people. And so James, the brother of the Lord, is talking about how God is choosing a people, a kingdom, out of all people, not just the Jews, but also out of the Gentiles. He's creating the new people of Israel, the church. And in this, he's not making a decision based on race or tribe or language or any of that. It's all about faith. Who trusts in the Lord? And so one of the things that happens in this is that he says, it's my judgment that we should not make it any more difficult than it already is to follow the Lord. Don't create unnecessary obstacles. Following Jesus is not easy. To commit our lives to Christ each and every day in the midst of a world that is broken and sinful is not easy. We should be focused on the spiritual battles, not on the trite stuff that is not important. And so he says James, the Bible, apostles here, says we should admonish them to honor God with their lives. How do we honor God with our lives? By the way we behave. We show that we believe and trust God by not following the ways of this world. One of those ways is not to engage in sexual immorality, not to believe that our bodies are just fun toys for us to do whatever we want, that our bodies are created for a sacred purpose, and that ultimately our bodies are to be used to honor and bless God by blessing our spouse. He also says that they are to distance themselves from idol worship, not to eat the sacrifices, not to drink the blood that comes from idol worship. And I would ask, what are the things of this society that are worshiping idols that we should also probably distance ourselves from? I would say that's a matter for prayer. Well, thanks, my friends. Have a blessed day.